Wholesale Hotline. I'm Brent Daniels.
I'm Jamil Damji.
And I'm Jerry Norton.
And I'm Morby.
Every week we bring you the best information on real estate investing.
Be sure to participate in the comments.
And subscribe.
Enjoy the show!
So thank you so much for calling Wholesale Hotline. That's it. Wow, that's great.
Welcome to Wholesale Hotline. It is your boy Jerry Norton and Morby in the house by ourselves. Guys, thank you so much for being here. We are so grateful. Today is New Year's Eve.
It was a fun day. Guys, guess what we did? Pace took a inner tube for a tubing, like on the lake, tied a rope to it, put it behind his side by side, and we pulled the kids around the property.
So cool.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We got dumped on here in Montana, tons of snow, guys. Happy New Year's for everybody. We're going to be doing some Q&A, whatever questions you guys have going on. It's interesting. Jerry and I were sitting down in the kitchen a couple of hours ago talking about projects and fun things that we're up to. And I just bought a flip. He just did a flip. He made $150,000 on. And just talking about how fun this freaking business really is. It's not just about wholesaling. You also should be flipping. You should be doing some fun projects. Jerry's got a project in Puerto Rico right now where your project is, how much are you going to be all into that big house?
A little over $3 million.
Okay.
Hoping to sell in the 7 to 8 range. Million.
7 to 8 million. Dang. So you'll make you'll pay very little taxes, if any, on that.
Yeah.
So you'll clear over $3 million.
Yeah, or more. Yeah.
Or more. Okay.
Yeah.
I love
for
it.
3, selling at 8. I'll have some costs.
Do you know what the average American retires with in America? Two incomes. Okay, 2 incomes, retire at 65. What's the average?
Couple $100,000.
$363,000 as a family is what they retire with. Top 1% retires with $1.5 million. That's top 1%. You just made $3 million on one deal. You have double. Mm-hmm. That is the beauty of real estate. It is so freaking cool. Kathleen Martin says 2025 is a year to make dreams come true. Jared Donovan says Jerry's mic is not on. I can see it actually is on. Jerry, when you talk, I can see your closer. You are number 2. You just got to talk a little louder. Okay. You see I'm number 3, you're number 2.
Yeah, I see it.
Jerry's mic is on. I promise you it's on.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Mic is low. Hold on, let me turn you up.
Testing. How's that sound, guys? Can you leave us a comment? Can you hear me okay? Still no. Is it that? It's not that one.
Okay, hold on. Maybe. Nope, it's not that one.
I'll fix it. Keep talking. Guys, just address everybody in the comments. They can hear you. Testing. Can you guys hear me? Testing. Turn it up. It's all the way up. All right. How's it sound now, guys? How's it sound now? Can you hear me now? 25 decibels. Can you hear me now? I'm on the phone. Yeah, okay. I might have fixed it. There's that.
All right, here we go. We fixed it. Kathleen says no. We can hear you. You'll be fine. You just got to talk really close.
Okay.
That's it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you again. Galen says we hear you through Pace's mic. That's so crazy. That is not absolutely. I can see it on the freaking thing.
Yeah, it wouldn't show up on there, would it?
Yeah, hold on a second. Let's just double check. I think I know what's going on. Check this out, guys. I think I know what's going on. There you go. That's the problem.
Now can you hear me? Now it's gonna be too loud.
No, it's good.
Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, they're gonna say it's fixed.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Can you guys hear me now? Yes. All right. We're in business. Pace, you and I had a really great conversation, not this time we were hanging out, but last time, where we talked about what it means to become a real investor. Mm-hmm. And that level of journey, I think, in the game here requires that you own stuff, requires that you buy stuff. And that means you have to put some energy, some focus, some effort into capital. I know this is something that I talk a little bit about. I want to talk a lot more about it this year. It's something you talk about constantly, about how to actually get into deals and what it means to get the capital, either have the seller finance the capital or go raise the capital. Even with a lot of the deals that you and I do creatively and a lot of your community does, there's some money needed to bring to the deal, right? That entry fee. And so how vital is it to learn capital, how to raise it, how to structure it, how to get it, how to qualify for it, all the things? How important is that to becoming a real estate investor?
It's critical. And I can tell you, when I first started in real estate, I thought of money as money. Just like everybody else here in the audience thinks about money is money. It's scary.
Like the monetary value of a dollar.
Oh my gosh,
and
it's dollars.
Yeah.
I now look at money as kind of like pieces on a board game. Like, oh, I need money. I might as well just ask, hey, player 2, I need to borrow money from you. It's like playing Monopoly.
Like it's a widget.
It's a widget. It doesn't seem like 10 years ago, 11 years ago, before I learned how to raise capital and where money came from, I would stress out about money and, oh my gosh, where does it come from? And this, that, and the other. And I have to have a lot of money to get a lot of money to do things. And now that I understand how to structure things, I can walk out in the middle of a brand new city, brand new whatever, same thing with you. And I can go make $1 million in 6 months because I know where money comes from. And it's vital. It's absolute, gosh, everybody's saying pace, fix your mic. The reason being is because you are so loud now and I'm not. I'm fine. I'm not.
How's it sound now?
I'm not off. It's just that I turned your mic up so loud when I was originally doing it. We're good. Your mic is just louder than mine. That's all there is to it. Okay. There we go. Pace. I want to do that. So Sandra says, I want to do that. So yeah, it's critical. And I can also talk about for a second, when you start thinking about wholesale, I argue with people that wholesale is a temporary business. Now I look at people like Jamil and I look at people like Brent who have them as permanent like fixtures in their life. Wholesale is a permanent fixture in their life. And I understand why that is. And I think that wholesaling can definitely make you rich. It made me rich. You know, rich meaning you're a millionaire. You can become a millionaire through wholesaling. You'll never, ever be worth 20, 30, $40 million a year, net worth from wholesaling.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting perspective because if you think about it, wholesaling is transactional. And what is the model? The model is I'm going to take a little sliver out of the deal for myself. I'm going to pass on the deal to someone else. I have to give them the lion's share of the deal because that's why they're buying it. They're going to go do something, add the value, flip it, or keep it. And so by doing so, you know, you're taking these little swings at a time, right? But it's transactional. Even flipping's transactional. And so if you're in a transactional business model, then the only way to make more money is to do the thing again and do the thing again. So where people get a little messed up, I think, Pace, with this is there are ways to where you can set in motion automation, you can build a team, you can be consistent. And there is a way to maybe step away from that business a little bit where now you've got people and systems and processes and marketing that's doing the heavy lifting, and maybe you're not so heavily involved, but it still remains a transactional business. And real wealth, I think, requires assets that are working for you behind the scenes, around the clock, all the time, because otherwise I don't know that you can compound a wholesaling business to reach that level of wealth.
You can't sell a wholesale business. People will fight with me on this. People will say, oh, my friend, this guy on YouTube, I won't say his name because I'm actually friends with him. They go, oh, no, this guy sold his wholesale business. I'm like, no, he sold it on seller finance and the guy that bought it defaulted.
Yeah.
So,
and if he hasn't, he will sooner or later.
Correct. Now, why is wholesale, in my opinion, now this is my opinion, but why is wholesale a temporary business? Well, because you start realizing that the people you're wholesaling the deals to are the ones that are making 100,000, 200,000. They're the ones that are like, I'll give you a good example. A property I just recently sold is a property in Los Angeles in Mesa.
Yep.
And the property I bought, I gave the guy a $5,000 assignment. It was Doug Hopkins, who's like, I don't want to have anything to do with this deal. and I gave him $5,000 for the deal. I'm still buying from Doug.
Yeah.
I still buy from Doug and pay him a wholesale fee. But on that deal, I paid him a $5,000 wholesale fee. 5 years later, I sold that property. And over those 5 years, I got $80,000 in tax benefits. I got $150,000 in net cash flow. And I got a check for $380,000 after commissions were paid in equity growth on that property. When I bought it, it had no equity. And now here we are 5 years later. So he made $5. I made a collective of $600,000 on the same transaction.
Yeah.
And so it's the compound growth. It's also the tax benefits. So not only did he make $5,000 on that assignment, he had to pay 30% taxes on that $5,000.
Yeah.
So he walks away making $3,500. I walk away paying no taxes and getting a check for $600,000. And so when you start comparing the two, what happens is you get into the game of wholesale. The door is much wider, meaning it's easier to walk into the game of wholesale. But you walk in, you're like, wait, the people buying my deals are making considerable amount more money, whether it's flipping or buying and holding. And once your eyes are open to that, it's really hard to avoid elevating and upgrading. I kind of feel like this is going to sound bad, especially on Wholesale Hotline, but I kind of feel like wholesale is elementary school. And you would kind of laugh at somebody that's still only doing wholesale 10 years later. If they don't have rentals and they don't have other things going on, building houses, owning a hotel, having rentals, you'd kind of look at somebody and go, dude, why are you still in elementary school? What are you doing?
Yeah, it's all developmental. That's the good news, guys. So wherever you're at in the journey, think of it like a developmental process. So like I like to say, Pace, that wholesaling is like freshman year, fix and flip is like sophomore year, single family rentals are like junior year, and then senior year would be like commercial or multifamily, right? Bigger asset classes. And so there's nothing wrong with starting in your freshman year, right? And getting going and transacting and learning all the skills that come along with that. But I think what you're saying is if you stay in that rut, you won't develop into becoming a more versed investor, and you won't actually reach those levels of generational wealth or multimillionaire status. Yeah. If you stay a freshman.
Also, here's the thing about wholesale that one of the reasons why I don't wholesale full time anymore. One of the biggest reasons, I'd probably amount this to 80% of the reason why I don't love wholesale like I used to love wholesale. Well, one, I changed. The business is one of the greatest businesses on the planet, especially for somebody getting started in real estate. I would never have started in real estate if it wasn't for wholesale. And
you rely on wholesalers because you buy a lot from wholesalers.
I do, and I teach people how to wholesale, and I teach people, and I wholesale probably 1/20th the amount I used to. We still wholesale maybe 2 deals a month, but here's the number one thing I despised about having a wholesale business. It is not scalable. Your best systems, your best processes, your everything else are limited by acquisition reps. And what are acquisition reps but future competitors of yours? Now think about, I go buy a title company. Who are the people that run a title company? Title rep, escrow officer. How long do escrow officers stay at an escrow company?
I have no idea.
20, 30 years. They retire there. They work there. They might bounce it because it's their personality type. They want stability. They like working on other people's businesses.
It's literally the same thing again and again and again.
Yeah, and even though every transaction is a little bit different, they like the reliability. They don't like the risk. You and I like risk. We brush our teeth with risk. You know what I'm saying?
Variety.
And variety. There are people out there that despise that. Okay, so when you're building a team and you want a systematic business that's not constantly having turnover, especially for your number one person in your company, which is an acquisition rep. Every acquisition rep you ever hire, every single one of them will turn around and go and start their own wholesale business. And so your best system, your best process, the best culture, your best this, you're incentivizing them, you're giving them part of the company. I get people that learn how to do wholesale from me and I go, you got to run with wholesale maybe 2-5 years max. Then you got to start divesting into rental properties and other things. And a lot of people just skip the line and just go right to rental properties and apartments and all that kind of stuff, depending on your personality. But I tell people, you got to start divesting.
And by the way, a lot of people do that wrong,
right,
and get stuck.
Right.
Because they run out of financing. They don't know how to go continue to acquire, and they get 8 or 9 or 10 rentals. And they're sort of like now I can't really progress because they don't know how to continue to transact or generate fast cash. So I think there's a place for that still. Like there's always a place for that. You know, I think what's fascinating to me, Pace, is where I see a lot of wholesalers go wrong is they start to transact, they start to make money, and then they think, okay, how do I progress? How do I make more money? How do I grow? And in their mind, they think more transactions. And sometimes the worst thing you can do to a business is just double your transactions.
Yes.
And so what I try to teach people is there's nothing wrong with transacting, especially in the beginning. You learn so much, you gain all the skills, you build a team. All those things are fantastic. But I'm always thinking about how do I move from volume to margin? Because if you can double your revenue, but do the same amount of deals, oh my gosh, what did you just do to your life? You made your life so much better. Or do less transactions and make more money. Or like you have one deal, make you hundreds of thousands of dollars over time. One deal. Rather than take your skinny little cut off the top, and now you got to go do another deal and another deal and another deal. And all you end up doing is you're just on a hamster wheel running in circles for another year and then another year.
Well, like, look at this. Papa Bear in a chair. Great name, by the way. Love that. He says, I'm an acquisition manager, and you're absolutely right. The guy that hired me made sure I understood there is room for growth and to not learn and burn on him. There is no room for growth if you're an acquisition manager. Where do you go if you're an acquisition manager? You go to a direction of, I'm an acquisition manager. And then the next level up is you're the owner of your company. And so
you leave and start your own thing.
And by the way, look at his next one. He says, wow, just nailed it. I just locked up my own HELOC to start investing on my own. Looking to be a short-term lender for rehabs instead of jumping right into my own rentals. Okay, cool. So this is what I'm talking about. Everybody that when you do wholesale, I did wholesale on my own with no team. It was just me and my wife for the first 5 years. We started fixing and flipping. We started buying rentals, all of those things. Then I went out and I built a team for 4 years, and then COVID hit. And I looked at it. We had a big door knocking team. We were doing about 19, 20 deals a month just in pre-foreclosure door knocking. Tons of Subto deals back then, like just from door knocking. And COVID hits, we stopped door knocking. And I took like a 3-week break from door knocking and like running a team. I was like, why is my life so much better? Oh, because I'm not constantly having to my business wasn't even a wholesale business. My business was an acquisition rep retaining business. And so at that point, I went to a more nimble model of like larger chunks of money, less people on my team. And I just said, I'm going to double down on just building rentals because I was looking at my life saying, okay, like for example, the RV park that's up the road. That RV park, Glacier Peaks, we bought it last summer. I bought it on Creative Finance, no money out of my pocket, and it writes me a check every month for $31,000. That's like 2 wholesale deals given to me every single month.
Without the team, without the work, without the headache, without the title issues, without the urgency, every single deal. You know what I mean?
And I go over to the RV park and I walk into the office. And so when we're not here in Montana, our cats that are our Montana cats go live in the RV park. So we went over to pick up our cats, and I walk in the store, like the RV park office, and I said, hey, we're here to pick up the cats. And this lady's like, excuse me, who are you? And why do you think these are your cats? These are Pace Morby's cats. You are not touching Pace Morby's cats. I was like,
she didn't know who wrote her check every week.
But that's the beautiful thing, right? My acquisition reps in my wholesale business needed constant training, culture uplifting, managing, and constantly wondering, are you stealing leads behind my back all the time? So for me, this is a personality thing maybe because Jamil's successfully done it. However, this is not me criticizing Jamil. It's just letting you guys know what the reality of this business is. Jamil's best reps from 2021 are now working and running their own wholesale businesses. I've gone on their podcast, which is great. You want people to grow. But here's the thing, guys, there is no upward momentum for an acquisition person. So when you go build a business that's doing more than 5 wholesale deals a month, you need an acquisition team. And when you have an acquisition team, you don't hire somebody who's not a maniac salesperson. He's a maniac salesperson, meaning he loves going to the living room. He loves being on the phone. That's a maniac. We love the thrill of a deal. Those are the types of people you're hiring. And if those are the types of people you're hiring, those are also the personality types that want to build their own business. And so that's
high attrition.
High attrition. Like I never kept an acquisition person longer than 6 months. Okay.
Because once they learned it and got good at it, they're out of there.
Yeah, there you go. So Kevin Cho, for example, He says, that's why Kevin Cho isn't wholesaling as much anymore. Kevin sold me 27 Subto deals last year. And he says, what's my next step? You know, I'm Kevin's mentor. So he says, what's my next step? And I go, either A, you're going to go down the road of growing and building a team, which you'll want to kill yourself, or B, start buying businesses and start buying larger assets like apartment buildings and this, that, and the other. He goes, okay, great. So he sold his whole entire single family portfolio, moved to Manhattan, and now he's buying businesses with creative finance. So there's a point now where you've got to start growing. For me, wholesale has always been a part of who I am. It was how I got into the business. Wholesale is a part of who you are, but it is the gateway drug to real estate. I would argue that people that are wholesaling, this is going to come across bad, especially since this is called Wholesale Hotline. Wholesale is not real estate investing. It's not. You don't own anything. You own the contract. You own the contract. Okay, great. But you don't have any risk. You don't have any of these things, which is also the other side of the coin is so positive and amazing. But at the other side, the greater the risk, the greater the reward. You going and building this freaking hotel in Puerto Rico, you going and building a $3 million home, selling it for $8 million, you will make more money on that one deal than most people will make in 10 years of wholesale.
Doing hundreds of deals.
Hundreds of deals.
Yeah.
Marketing this, going to masterminds to learn the next thing that's working, the new laws that are happening with now you can't text and now you can't do this and now you can't cold call. One big flip for you is 10 years of the average wholesaler's wholesale business. So my point to saying all of this, my friends, okay, my point to this is wholesale is a gateway drug. It is amazing. It's how I got into the business. I owe everything to wholesale. However, you have to start learning how to take down properties, right? Like I think a simple step would be, instead of just wholesaling the property, it would be your takedown method, which is let's buy the property, whether it's with like how would I take down a property and then resell it quickly where I actually own the property? You probably make a little bit more money by putting on the MLS. You
make 2 to 4 times more if you do it that way.
Okay, walk me through that.
Okay, so you're gonna go out. It's got to be direct to seller, so you don't do this on market, because the point is you're gonna list it back on market when you sell it. So this works really well direct to seller. So you're gonna buy that property. If you can buy it for 70% of the as is value. Now, when I say as is, throw ARV out the window. We're not talking about fixed up. We're talking about its current value as it sits. If you can buy that at 70%, get 100% funding. I'll fund the deals if it's at 70%. We have a funding program where we're doing that. I know you have funding that you offer. You go raise private money. However you get the funding, buy that asset with no predetermined buyer. You're not going to market to a cash buyer ahead of time. It's not a double close. You buy it with no predetermined buyer. You're going to do very little to nothing to the property. We'll sometimes trash it out. We'll clean it. We'll take new pictures. We immediately list it back for sale with an agent. I'll do a 1% listing fee for a full service listing. I never have a problem finding someone that'll do it. Ingrid does them for me in Arizona, and I find one in every single market. I still pay 3% to a buyer's agent, or 2.5% to 3%. You're going to have financing fees, closing fees. You're going to have commissions. But then when you go and resell that at current market value, you're carving out for yourself a 10 to 20% profit, depending on how it pencils. If you have any issues or it doesn't sell for as much, or let's say a buyer wants some concessions, whatever, you're making 10 to 20% of your resale value. That's usually for us and my students, double to quadruple what you would have made had you just did a straight assignment to a cash buyer. Now you're in the deal a little bit longer. We try to be in them 60 to 90 days, but there's still no rehabbing. It's basically wholesaling to a retail buyer. A lot of people call it wholetailing, but it's just one more step where you're doing the same thing you're already doing, but because you know how to now go get capital, just the capital, that's it. You're able to get the capital to buy it. You make 2 to 4 times more. Yeah. Why don't more people get the capital, buy it, and resell it? I know why. I'll tell you in a second. If you could double to quadruple your money doing nothing different, your acquisition side's the same. You got to get a good deal. Yeah. It seems like a very simple way to. I'll tell you why. You tell me if I'm wrong. Dimitri Van Camp says, hey, I have $120,000 profit on a deal closing late next week. Probate deal, which I listed on the MLS. He bought it then. Yep, he bought it. Took it down. He bought it. Right? Contracted for 180, sold at 327 minus fees. So that's the takedown method. I'm taking it down. He probably, on that deal, I'll bet you he could have made a $20,000, $30,000 wholesale fee. Instead, he's making, what do you say? 125. Yeah. I have some really cool strategies that I do
I'll tell you, let's finish this part of the conversation of why don't more people take down the property. Here's why. People are lazy and they want to do as little as humanly possible. And they are so busy scrolling on social media. This is the craziest thing. So the amount of people driving on the roads nowadays is less than it was 5 years ago because more people are working from home. The amount of accidents that are happening is double. Why is that? People are so busy scrolling on their phone.
Oh, yeah.
I got hit. My van's totaled. My wife got hit like maybe a month later. And then my son just got hit, all by people that are scrolling through their phone. People are so sucked into the social media stuff right now. I don't consume. I post, right? And then I'm out. But they're so consumed with like fast, immediate, get me money right now type of stuff that they won't take the time and energy to learn what a good deal is. Now, why do I know this? Because the majority of the brand new wholesalers don't learn how to comp a property. They don't learn how to build relationships with cash buyers to understand the value of a property. So what you just said of understand the value, the as is value, go get it at 70%. You lost them right at go learn the value of the property.
Yeah. Well,
they won't learn that.
Here's what's crazy. So, we've been offering this program for a little while. I probably get, I don't know, 10 applications a day. Now, my lender, if we're going to give 100% to somebody to buy a property, then he's got a couple requirements. We have to look at credit. I know it sucks. Everyone wants to do real estate with no credit. We have to look at credit. And we also look at what are your cash reserves on hand. If I'm giving you 100% of the money, do you at least have some cash in the bank where you could make the payments for a couple months or maybe come to the closing and pay some of the closing fees, $3, $4, $5,000? I can't tell you, Pace, this has blown my mind. I can't tell you how many people have credit in the 400s. Do you know how hard you have to work at not paying your bills to be in the 400s?
That's really hard. You're working hard.
You're actually working hard to not pay your bills. Now, why do we look at credit? Because if I'm giving you 100% of the money, we'd like to know that you pay your bills. Yeah. Okay. The second thing is some cash. Do you know how many people, it's like consistent across the board, $3,000. That's the magic number that people have in their bank account. I mean, I remember a day where that's all I had in the bank account, but that's normal. I have people that are submitting for 100% funding and they have 400 credit score and they have $3,000 in the bank and nothing more. Yeah. People are living like that. And then they're trying to like, this is a question I have, Pace. So, and for everybody listening right now, how do you expect to run a business and invest in real estate if you can't even pay your personal bills? Yeah. And if you can't even accumulate $10,000, $20,000 in your bank account? How do you expect to do a business?
It goes back to the acquisition manager personality type. So the average person that is out there wholesaling is not the average person, but the majority of the people, at least in the circle that I'm in. By the way, Jeffrey Long says, you're still doing a service for somebody with wholesaling. Now, guys, I've wholesaled more than 99% of people on the planet. I still wholesale more than 99% of people on the planet.
That's not the topic here.
The topic is not,
it good or bad?
We don't like wholesale. We love wholesale. We're talking about at some point you've got to open up your opportunities. Otherwise, you're going to burn yourself out on wholesale.
You just got to keep developing, keep growing.
There you go.
That's it.
Why would you keep reading the same book? You already read the book. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean the book was bad. It means it's time for you to read the next book. You know what I'm saying? So, Jeffrey, we believe with you 100%. We are on the same page with you 100%. Now, it's the same personality type. 18 to 35-year-old young dude building himself into real estate. Okay. Now, not all wholesalers are men. Obviously, 51% of the Subto community is female, but we also don't wholesale only. We do everything, right? So I look at these dudes, and when they were on my team, they'd get a big commission check. What would happen? They'd stop working for 3 weeks.
Oh yeah, classic. Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was. Yeah. So I used to have a guy named Tino that was on my team. And I'm like, as I hand him his commission check every 2 weeks, I'm like, let me guess, you're going to take this and you're going to go to San Diego and you're going to be gone for 2 weeks. And then you're going to come home and you're broke again. And then you're here every day grinding super hard. And you're here on Saturdays and Sundays. Then you get a big check and that cycle starts all the way over. He was also the $3,000 in your checking account kind of guy. It was, as long as I have enough money to pay my bills,
I'm
this
good.
month,
I'm going to stop working.
Yeah.
Whereas, again, back at the start of the episode, I was talking about how I don't look at money as money anymore. I look at money as a trinket or a tool or a widget. People starting their journey, especially acquisition people, they look at money as money. Now, here's how most people that are starting out think. I used to think this way too. This is how I know this. They think that this is how they think. If you have $10,000 in your bank account, they think, okay, that's 2 months of expenses. Right? That's how people divide the amount of money in their account by how long it will last them.
But here's the message I tell people with this, because this is like fresh on my mind right now because I'm seeing this so much right now.
Yeah.
Guys, 2025, I have a YouTube video I was telling you about it coming out about this. If you weren't able to succeed in 2024 and get started and gain some sort of financial security or whatever, if you think that you can start a business and run a business, and if you think you can invest in real estate and you can't even manage your personal finances and you can't even accumulate more than $3,000 in the bank, you won't do it. You won't be successful. That's such a fundamental thing. And it just takes some effort, guys. In 1 year, you can fix your credit with effort. Yeah. You can fix your credit. Pull your report, look at it in the face. It shows you your deficiencies. Pay those freaking bills off that are at collections right now that are wrecking your score. You know what I mean? Yeah. Get a second job, start your side hustle, when you're done with your 9 to 5, start your 6 to midnight. Take that money, pay down your high interest debt. Did you know that the average consumer debt in America is $104,000. Now that's credit card. That's 3 things: credit card, student loans, and automobile. 104,000. The average American has 104,000 in consumer debt. That's crazy. At high interest.
And $3,000 in their bank.
And $3,000 in a bank account.
I haven't been there with the consumer debt, but I have definitely been there where I didn't have enough money to pay my next day's bills. But what was I doing? I was running a construction company. I would do handyman stuff on the side. Saturdays, Sundays, I would not stop working. I'd figure out how to keep money in my bank account, invest. Money in my bank account, invest. Now, I'm not talking about investing in stocks or investing in whatever. A lot of times investing in myself, learning a new skill, going to a raising private capital class or going this, okay, then implementing it. Okay, now I'm adding little like elements of armor to become like a stronger warrior, right? You're investing in yourself and spending that money. I never looked at money. I'd say past 25, I stopped looking at money as money. I started looking at money as a tool. And that was because I was hanging out with the right people, honestly. Okay, this is great. Let's, guys, a lot of good comments here. One of my favorite comments of the day right here is somebody says, where are all these comments coming from? I don't see any of them. Well, there's actually 4, Jerry's channel, Brent's channel, Jamil's channel, my channel, and Wholesale Hotline's YouTube channel. They're all streaming. We have the most people over on my channel, Pace Morby. If you guys want to see more comments, you can bounce between those channels. We're streaming to a couple of different channels, totaling about 400 live viewers. Thank you guys so much. I know like if you're on my channel, you're going to see a couple hundred people. If you're on Jerry's channel, you're going to see 100 people. If you're on Wholesale Hotline's channel, you're going to see Wholesale Hotline has 4 live viewers. So not to tell those 4 people to get off Wholesale Hotline's YouTube channel, but most of the people are on Jerry's, mine, etc. Okay. I love America, but the consumer debt addiction is beyond sickening, completely off the rails. Yes, if I could fix one thing about America, it would be the education system and how we educate our youth way younger. Like you guys homeschool your kids do not have the same problems that kids in high school have. Right? It's an education thing. They're taught from growing up. They're seeing the kids with the glamorous, oh, dude, Tommy has a Gucci bag in high school. Like that's important. Your kids don't even think that way. Yeah. I mean, going along with this question here, the problem we have when you can just put something on a credit card is you distort the correlation between time and money, right? So like you work, you earn money, you save it up, you buy the thing. You have a very healthy correlation between it took time to earn money, I used the money to buy the thing. When you finance something up front with consumer debt and you get the thing right away, you're all screwed up now because you got the benefit before you actually earn the money to pay for the thing. Yeah. And now you're just paying the high interest forever. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it really puts people in a huge disadvantage in life. Agreed. Okay. So Galen, good to see you, brother. I remember back in the day when Galen had not gotten a deal yet.
And that has definitely changed, brother. So proud of you, proud of everything that you've done. You're awesome. Good to see you, brother. I haven't seen you in months. Curious, Jerry and Pace, when you were growing up, did your parents teach you not to borrow money that you cannot give back right away?
My parents taught me nothing about finance. And well, actually, they modeled how to not do things. My parents were very poor managers of money. We had the power turned off from not paying the electric bill, right? We had all the things happen, me growing up. So I had a very, I was very driven to make my way, earn money, become self-sufficient, but not because I was taught well, because I was taught poorly.
You and I are exactly the same. I just gave my dad a $10,000 loan 2 weeks ago. So like my look, and I'm not putting that my dad doesn't watch this podcast. You guys don't know my dad's name, but my dad would never watch this. All my dad knows is that I have a big house and that my dad can come over and ask me for money whenever he wants. And it's, you know, the last 4 or 5 years, I've had to like limit him from doing this. So I learned the same thing, what not to do. And I tell people frequently that the main motivating factor in my life every day is fear. I'm actually afraid. I operate primarily out of fear, not fear of, oh, what if I make a mistake? Fear of if I'm going to be anything like my mom and dad financially. They're still married. I met your mom and your dad. Your mom's awesome. Your dad's freaking amazing. Amazing people. But financially, my parents are nowhere I would ever want to be. We grew up in a family of 12 kids. My dad worked his guts out, so I learned my work ethic from my dad. I know you did too.
Same thing.
So I learned amazing things, but financially, I should have stopped paying attention to my parents at age 16.
Yeah.
I should. They never told me where to put money. Now I borrow money from private money lenders and I go buy stuff. My dad and my mom would never even know that that's something you could do. Now, Rebecca Meadow, she says, Pace, Jerry, if you're looking for private investors in your deals, how do we raise our hand to learn more about investing with you? Email me personally and I will put your money to work.
Yeah, me too.
PaceJMorby@me.com. That's my personal email. If you want to invest with me, I just looked at my list of private money lenders I owe money to. I owe $1.9 million to private money lenders. I'm sure you've got a significant chunk of money of people.
Yep.
I pay every month in interest on them. I probably pay somewhere around $19,000 to $20,000 a month in interest to those private money lenders. Happy to give you interest as well. And a lot of them are 6-month loans, 12-month loans. I go buy an RV park. What's cool about being a private money lender on a deal with somebody like Jerry or me is that you get to watch where your money goes, ask questions, show up to the project. You have the project as security, so you're fully protected, which is awesome. But email me, pacejmorby@me.com. What's your email?
Yeah, JLNorton1234@gmail. It's my personal email.
He made that when he was 14, guys. Don't judge him.
I had 4 kids, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to update that.
That was when you had 4 kids?
Yeah. That's how long I've had that
Hey,
email.
guys, email me, JLNorton12345678910@gmail.com. Homeboy has 10 kids. What?
I would say to Rebecca too, you know, when you have a conversation about being a PML, make sure you come prepared for that conversation. And what I mean by that is know what kind of deals you want to be in, know how long you want to have your money out. Because if you tell me, hey, I've got $100,000 I want to lend, those are the questions I'm going to ask. I'm going to say, okay, well, what kind of security do you want to have? Are you okay in a second position? Do you want the money back in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months? Do you not want it back for a long time? Like, help us know what your investing goals are, because I'll need to know that and you'll need to know that to know where to place that money correctly that will fit your goals.
Yeah. Check this out. Kelly Humbarger, one of our Subto members and top tier TC. She's amazing. She's on my personal team, actually. She just closed one of the great deals I did for 2024. She just did the documents and paperwork on it. She joined my team about a year ago. She just bought her own Subto deal, 4-bed, 2-bath house, 4% interest. She raised the money for her down payment that covered her first couple of months of payments, and she got paid herself and bought some furniture and whatever else. No money out of her pocket. She's all into this house. Amazing girl. You guys should know Kelly Humbarger. But I did this really great deal this year where I called the seller named Tim. He's in foreclosure, but he doesn't want to sell his house. So I said, okay, I'll buy your house from you and I'll just lease it back to you. And you can buy it back from me in 6 months when you can finance. I bought it for $375. We sold it back to him for $498. and he had to give me $20,000 for the option. So I'll make about $148,000 on one deal. Never had to lift. I've never been to the house. Never had to lift a finger. No renovation. The guy's still in the house. He's paying the loan payment right now. That's a great deal. She structured that deal. Proud of you, Kelly. She's awesome.
Amazing.
She says, I took the Dave Ramsey workshop in high school, and with my parents, learning creative finance shattered everything. Shattered everything I learned. It's crazy what is possible. Okay, what would somebody have to do to be your mentee? Join one of our communities. What results would they need to obtain? And more importantly, what would somebody do to absolutely turn you off from being their mentor? Victim mentality. I hate victims. I hate people that blame their upbringing and blame their this and blame the color of their skin. There's a really great quote that Jim Rohn said before he passed away. He said, somebody out there has done more with less than what you have. So I can't handle victims. What about you?
Yeah, I would add to that. You know, oftentimes when you pay a mentor, and the more you pay the mentor, the less you think you have to do. And there's this idea around, well, I'm going to kind of buy my way to the top, and I'm going to shortcut having to do the work. And I would not look at it that way. If you're going to work with a mentor like a Pace or a Jerry or any mentor, whatever they ask you to do, go way above and beyond. Do the homework, do the assignment, show up, be prepared, be ready. That's how you get the most out of a mentor, is when you really come and you've done the work ahead of time. I
honestly don't really consider myself a mentor. I don't do
people. One-on-one. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I'm not a mentor. I'm more of a community builder.
Yeah.
And I am friends with the people in our community, and I do deals with people. And do I mentor them? Yes, I guess
Definitely.
Technically I do.
Yeah, definitely you do.
But my goal is to do deals with them, not to like have it as a mentee-mentor relationship. And I know Jerry's the same exact way. Okay, cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. Wotsy, love that. Been in this for 10 months. Haven't closed my first deal yet. Had deals, but they did fall through. My main problem is that I struggle with too much opportunities and motivation to where I shut down. Okay, cool. So anytime, I'll tell you straight up, I've been teaching and helping people for 11 years. Jerry's been doing it even longer than me. When somebody tells me they haven't done a deal in their first 10 months, I already know one, if not all of your struggles. Okay. Number one, consistency, absolute consistency. Number two, you didn't do the work at all. Like literally period, zero, zip. I run into people. I did this challenge one time. Nobody's ever taken me up on it. When somebody says to me, hey, Pace, I've been working really hard on exactly what you've taught, and I still haven't done a deal. I go, perfect. You give me, let's do a bet. You give me 20 grand, and I'll give you 50 grand if I lose. Here's the bet. Okay. If I lose, I'll give you 50 grand. If you lose, you give me 20. And the bet is I fly to wherever you live, and I follow you around for a week, and I actually watch you work. All this work you're doing, let me watch you for a week. And if you are actually doing work, I'll give you a $50,000 check. If you are not, and you're sitting there like, okay, I don't really know what to do, means you've just been watching content, you're not taking action, and you're trying to do this on your own, et cetera, which you can't. You can't do this on your own. If you guys ever want to do that challenge, email me, pacejmorby@me.com, and make a great episode on YouTube. You better have 20 grand though, because I will 100% win. Because here's what'll happen. Either A, by the end of the week, you're going to get a deal because now somebody's holding you accountable, and you're going to go, crap, you were right, man. I wasn't actually doing any things. Or B, you're not going to get a deal, and I'll give you a check for $50,000. Okay, that you're going to win either way. I'm in top tier TC. Besides saving time, what are the other benefits can I say to investors as a new client? Amazing. Oh my gosh, what a great question. Okay, transaction coordinators. As a top tier TC, Emily, you might not have learned this in your training quite yet, but you'll get to a point where I did some of the training with Molly. Molly is my top tier TC. Transaction coordinators know all the buyers and the private money lenders. Think about that. Every time you do a transaction, you communicate with the private money lender, the hard money lender, you communicate with the buyers, you know everybody. You are the most connected person in the business. So how did I learn this? Well, my wife was my transaction coordinator from 2013 to 2018 when we had Corbin. When we had Corbin, she's like, fire me. I want to be a full-time mom. I was like, no problem. I got you. But during that 5 years, my wife made me more money she would help me wholesale my deals to other buyers she was doing transaction coordination for. She would also bring me other deals I could flip from other wholesalers she was doing transaction coordination for. You bring so much value. You are the most connected person in every real estate transaction. That is a great one to start with. There you go. Before I send my contract off to the title company when virtual wholesaling, should I reach out to an attorney in that market to look over my contracts? Okay, no. Here's what I would do. Hire a transaction coordinator, you knucklehead, and have your buyer pay for it. Email Molly@pacemorby.com, and Molly@pacemorby.com. She will connect you with a really great transaction coordinator. Also, here's another thing you should be doing. Open up your escrow with Creative Title. They do Subto, seller finance, novation agreements, lease options, every single thing you can imagine creatively. They do refinances, they do cash deals, they do regular wholesale deals. Just open your title with Creative Title and escrow. The website is getcreativetitle.com, and they will help you out. Pace, you were born a mentor. Thank you, Amy. By the way, Amy wrote me an email a couple of months back. She's like, I need to learn how to raise money. Now she's raising money like crazy. Super proud of you. You're killing it. Jeffrey Long. When I first started real estate, my very first year, I knew I would hire a TC while I focused on the money. I was too stupid to realize that until my wife smacked me in the face. Okay, cool. If we put a property in an LLC and create membership agreements in California, will we have an issue evicting a non-paying co-living member? No, you will not, because it is a club. It is a membership. They are not a tenant. Great question. This is very much goes with the pad split mentality, which is pad split does not have tenants. They have members. So no, you would not have a tenant. They would not have tenant laws. They would have membership laws that would all be dictated by the LLC and the operating agreement that you created. Pace, I want to do a deal with you, Pace, an OPM deal, other people's money deal. Okay, then give me money. PaceJMorby@me.com. I'll put your money to work. Okay. April Elias just made $300,000+ on a flip that I funded. I love this. She is constantly my team's favorite person. And she's such a shining example in the Subto community. She's going to be teaching a bunch of classes on fix and flip. She just did a banger fix and flip in, I don't remember. I went and visited it, but I don't remember what state it was. It was either Rhode Island. I don't know all your states over on the east side. I'm sorry.
They all blend together.
They all blend together. They're all New York City to us. Okay, cool. Can't wait. I'm so proud. April, I am so grateful to be your friend. You are so cool. I love everything about you. Your husband is so amazing. Amazing people. Okay, cool. If you're going to be a PML, please understand how to underwrite, what lien positions are, et cetera. Guys, DM me the word safety. The Subto community built a free course that shows you how to be safe in every real estate transaction. And we give that course away to everybody, even if you're not in Subto, even if you're in Gator, doesn't not matter. The Subto community built that just for everybody to protect themselves, okay? Lou Swan, that's a good smile, dog. Dang, I wish my smile was that good. Man, that's tough. It starts with the lack of financial education early. I'm thankful I come from a family that gave me that knowledge. By the time I was in high school, I had above a 730. Bro, I didn't even know what that meant.
Yeah, me neither.
When did you move out? When you went on your mission?
Yeah, 19.
19, and you went on your mission to
Argentina.
Mm-hmm. That's why you speak Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because you're Mexican.
Nope, it's not because I'm Mexican.
Argentinian. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate you, brother. Freaking really appreciate you. He says, these dudes on screen are simply incredible. Thanks for being you. And guys, I love this business so much. Jerry has been my hero for so many years. I get it. Today I'm pinching myself. I'm talking about YouTube with one of my YouTube heroes in my kitchen.
Yeah, that was fun.
My life is good. I get to hang out with really fun, cool people, and I'm grateful to be here. By the way, tomorrow, starting in 11 hours and 11 minutes, I will be going live at 4 a.m. Mountain Standard Time all day long.
Tomorrow.
Wow. For New Year's Eve. I said, I want to ring in the new year, giving you guys amazing game. What I'm going to be doing is talking about 25 deal types that you can use in 2025. Wholesale is one of those 25 types. One. Jerry, what's your email again?
JL Norton 1234 @gmail.
That's so funny that you made that email when you only had 4 kids. This man has 10 children. Okay, 10 freaking children.
They just came over here and annihilated your house, Pace.
That's what the house is for, bro. Corey says, "Do you mentor?" No, we are community builders. We recognize that when you want to be successful, you need a group of people. Jerry and I grew up in a heavily religious background, still very religious. We are both LDS, Latter-day Saints, Mormons, as you might call us. We're like diet Amish people. We're like a diet Amish. We're very old worldly. And we grew up in a church atmosphere where everything was about giving to each other and helping each other out. And it was all about community. I grew up, my parents woke me up at 5:00 in the morning. I imagine yours did too.
Seminary?
Well, no, I didn't go to seminary. You had your seminary.
Mine
was not
early
in your
morning.
high school?
No, it was early morning, so you had to go before school.
I was so spoiled.
Yeah.
My high school.
Yeah, because Utah had it.
Yeah, Utah had it. So my parents woke us up at 5 a.m. and we would read the Bible verse by verse by verse. We had 12 kids in our family. Jerry's still trying to catch up to my mom and dad. And we would share ideas about how are we going to implement what we learned today as we went out into the world. And when I got into my adult years, I was like, is not how everybody operates. Like nobody operates this way where you collaborate and you work with each other. And when I got into construction, it was very cutthroat. And that's why Jerry and I have such a feeling of community. We want to grow community because we know I can't be helped by just one person. I need hundreds of people around me that help me. One person's better at this, one person's better at that. So we built communities.
Yeah.
Okay? Yes, diet Amish, or maybe Mennonites. We are Mennonite light Mennonite. There's a huge LDS temple in my hometown, Independence. Bro, see if they're on the foreclosure list. I'll try and buy it sub 2. Let's go. Jerry, how many siblings do you have, bro?
There's 7 of us.
That's a lot.
Yeah, 6 boys and 1 girl.
Guys, in our LDS religion, Mormon, if you have 7 kids, that's called a starter pack.
Not so much anymore, but yeah, true.
4, I think 4 is probably a starter pack.
Yeah, I would agree.
I have a starter pack, and my wife is saying, I think we're done. Okay, so for virtual wholesaling, how do you keep your buyer? This is such a common thing. Really, really interesting. First and foremost, I'm going to tell you my belief in this, and Jerry's going to tell me I'm wrong. I hope you tell me I'm wrong.
Okay.
Alexis Sanchez is saying, for virtual wholesale, how do you keep your buyer from talking to the seller to be safe in case your buyer doesn't take your deal? Okay, so Alexis, if your buyer takes the deal from you direct to the seller, they are a wholesaler, okay? They are not a buyer. Quality buyers would never go around you. So if you're finding buyers in Facebook groups, that is not a buyer. That is a wholesaler lying to you that they are a buyer. If you want a buyer, I'll show you how to, hey, Alexis, I don't know where you live. Gosh, dang it. I wish I did, but I'll show you how to find a buyer that is verified buyer. Watch how fast I can do this. We'll go, we'll start on Google, and I will go to this awesome freaking site called PropWire. Okay. And I'll do this for free, by the way. PropWire is free 99. Okay. So if we're going to go and find buyers that I know have actually closed deals, I can go to propwire.com. I'm going to log in. You guys can steal my login, or you can just get your own because you can get a free login. Okay. PropWire trying to promote something to me, and I always buy it. It's all good.
You already bought that.
Okay, so property type. Well, here's what I want. I want cash buyers, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Pick a market on the to the left there.
Let's pick Birmingham, Alabama. I love that's. Have you ever been to Birmingham?
No.
Freaking cute city, dude. Somebody told me don't go there. It's called Murderham, Alabama. It's such a cute. So these are all cash buyers. These white dots. Okay, so I could click here. I want to filter though. I want to find one that. How can I find one that has bought maybe more than 4 in the last 5 years?
Go to the owner drop down right there.
Okay, owner.
And you could do years of ownership, or you could do it properties owned down there.
Property owned. Okay, so this is how you make sure you're finding a legit buyer. I'm going to do 5 properties owned.
And then you could do they own them in a LLC. That usually tells you they're
serious.
Yeah, in business right there. Yep.
Okay. 16,000, my friend, right there. So you could start messing around with this, and you could get smaller and smaller and smaller. We could go, all right, I want to find somebody, you know what? We got to find somebody that has 20 properties or more. That's going to take it down crazy, right? 85. Are you kidding me? What's up with all these rich people in freaking Birmingham, dude? It's definitely not.
You could also go back to the owner one. You could go to years of ownership.
Okay.
Or you could go to, let's see, go to the financial one. I think it might be that one.
Okay.
What I'm looking for is when they bought. So they were last sale date.
Okay. I want one that's been relatively recent.
So go down there, last sale date.
Okay. Well, let's go 2023, December 2023, last year. I want. Oops, my bad. I'm so stupid.
Yeah, you do that on the. Go to the from to.
Where?
Yeah, so go to that date. Yeah, there. Now that one you'd go back to a year or 2 years ago.
Okay, let's go to 2022.
Yep, and then on the next one that would be put today's date. Yeah.
Oh, dude, thank you, man. This is how you get free prop wire support. You just get next to the guy.
It didn't up. Oh yeah. Okay, so you got from 2022 to 2023.
I'm stupid, dude. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I think you had to hit the
date.
Click on the date. Yeah, there you go. Did it update it? Okay. Now
save and close. Watch. 874.
So what I like about that is these are active because they just did stuff recently.
Yes, in the last 12 months.
Yeah.
These are verified, bona fide buyers. So this is where I hope you fight with me on this.
Okay.
And if I'm right about this, then maybe I'm right. I don't know. But my experience is all of my great cash buyers would never do anything to sour the relationship with me because they want me to keep bringing them deals.
Yeah. Okay. So I think you're right. I'm not going to disagree with you. What I would say to this comment, because I get this all the time, is this is like due on sale clause. It's the boogeyman.
Yeah, it's the boogeyman.
It doesn't happen.
When I was first in real estate, everybody put this fear in me, and it never happened to me once.
Yeah. Guys, I very rarely see that happen. It very rarely happens. It's more of like you're thinking it could happen, but it's not really something that happens. So I guess there are ways to mitigate that. There are ways to be careful about that. But you're creating an objection that's not even very likely. It's like the 1% thing.
Yeah. There you go. David Wilkinson says, bro, Alabama straight up surprised me so many times. I love going to Alabama. I haven't been there in a couple years.
It's a super fast growing market. Like
it's so cool. It's a great spot. Okay, so how can you close with a lien? You can do a tabletop closing, meaning you don't use a title company. We've done hundreds of these, but it's very, very advanced creative strategy. You definitely don't want to be doing it without pulling a title report. And then we always go back after we close and buy title insurance afterwards. It's kind of a gangster strategy, something that I teach people how to do. But you should, my friends, go through a title and escrow company every time until you're like super gangster. Rebecca says, what's up, Pace and Jerry? Thanks for all you do.
You're welcome.
Do you ever wake up in the morning and feel like you don't do enough?
Yeah. Not as bad as you do, but yes, I do.
Okay, Jerry, why are the property pictures not showing on PropWire? It's been like this for a few weeks now.
Property pictures not showing on PropWire. Are you talking the Google images? Or I'm not quite sure what that is. But guys, we're constantly working on it. So if you submit a ticket to us and you tell us any issues you're having, we immediately troubleshoot them. Because software is like anything; it works great until it doesn't work, or maybe there's something going on that we can fix. So just let us know, and we'll try to fix it.
If you want to build up your patience, either start a restaurant or start a software company. That's what they say. Okay,
it's not Brentwood or although I like Franklin south of Nashville. I like that town.
Galen is like, where should you go? Are you not telling people?
I just haven't talked about it much, but yeah, it's what's funny is it's spelled Maryville, but you say it Maryville. That's how people say it. They'll know you're not local if you say it Maryville.
It's kind of like Boise. You have to say Boise.
Oh,
people from Boise. Not Boise.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You and I would normally say Boise, but when I go to Boise, they're like, "Oh, you're not from Boise."
It's funny when I do my calling live, I'll go to like Connecticut or somewhere where they have all these like weird names, and or New Jersey or wherever, and I'll say them wrong, and everybody corrects me. which is great because I learned how to say cities that I've been saying wrong.
Jerry, I'm just tuning in. Are you still hosting that live New Year's kickoff tomorrow?
That's you doing that.
Oh, yeah. That's me. James, what are you talking about, bro?
How do you get to that? Because it's not on YouTube.
No, it's on a Zoom.
Yeah, but how do
I
people go to that?
What I don't love about YouTube is that I can't talk to people. So when somebody has a question on Zoom, they can raise their hand. I can chat with them, right?
Yeah.
So I'm doing an all-day Zoom tomorrow, literally 4 a.m. That's an hour after I wake up, bro. Just straight up. I'm not waking up early for this. This is normal for me. People are like, why are you doing this so early? I'm like, so I can work when I normally want to work. Freaking early.
So you can get it all in. But how do you get to that?
DM me on Instagram or go on my Instagram. If you go on my Instagram stories, the link is in my stories. It is out there. Also, you can just DM me on Instagram. People, and so somebody in here right now, if you don't know what DM me on Instagram means, please say something in the comments. Say guilty. Say I'm guilty. I don't know what that means. You'd be surprised how many people have.
And don't ask what your Instagram is. Just go look it up.
Yeah, go to Pace Morby. Go send me a private message. Go send me a message on Instagram. Say, give me the link, and I'll give you the Zoom link. Or go to my Instagram stories. The link is readily available, and I will be there all day long. Jerry, when do you call live?
Yeah, now I do live calls all the time, but I'm not doing them right now like on a schedule. So I'll just randomly pick a date. And so pay attention because I do those all the time. And I'll call for like 2 hours and just do live calls to agents or sellers. And it's a lot of fun.
Do you do those like straight up live YouTube or do you?
Yeah, just do them straight on YouTube. What I do is I won't pull the screen and show the address. This is why I don't like to do it either. What I'd like to do is just record them, do them live and record them.
Yep.
And then go back in and show how I came to my number, why I did what I did, comp it, all the things, because it's one thing to listen to like me on the phone doing live with a seller, but you have no idea. I'm looking at it right now. I'm coming up, I'm asking questions, but people don't really grasp why you're doing that.
I got to show you this video. So a couple of months ago, I'll pull this up and I did Pace Morby calls. I had a round table right here at this exact table. It was me and 4 dudes sitting at this table. We called agents. I think you watched that live. I can't remember where it is, but it's in.
I did watch that one. Yeah, there it is.
So if you look at this, oh my gosh, I'm literally wearing the same hoodie, sitting in the same spot. I'm such a disgusting human being. I wonder if I've actually washed this hoodie since then. That's the better question.
Well, don't you have like 5 of those in your closet?
I have a whole box in the bar, and I just keep pulling them out. So this, I love that you bring this up because this right here, I'm on here for 2 hours just calling agents live, right? And we're doing a round table where it's just kind of competing, me and Jordan, me and Jordan, me and Jordan. Jordan's the guy in the cowboy hat. I've bought a couple RV parks from him. He's a great leader inside of Subto here in Montana. If you guys are in Montana, Jordan Reyes is an awesome guy. Myron Briley is generating leads for us by blasting out LOIs.
Yeah.
My wife says I've washed it.
I already watched that one. You got something new?
Thanks, sweetheart. I love you. So the Jeffrey Long says, Laura, are you still with EXP? My wife is full-time mama, full-time wife, full-time all the things, holding down she's the CEO of the family. So that's her full-time job. Okay, so I'm on here calling agents. And what ends up happening is somebody freaking goes, oh, I know and recognize that person's voice. And they call the seller and they go, hey, this guy's streaming you on YouTube right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So Pace, I used to do this thing called 0 to 60 with my kids, my older kids.
I remember that.
And we had to stop because I was showing it all, screen, everything. We were doing the calls and then the agent would say, yeah, it's really weird. After I talked to you, I got like 10 calls. Like, you guys suck. What are you doing? Don't call my deals. What the heck?
Oh, dude, it is what it freaking is. It's so interesting. Matt Odell says, self-performing to avoid a valid memorandum doesn't come without consequences. That is true. We are the ones that like really perfected the process of self-performing. It used to not be called self-performing.
What do they mean by that? What do you mean by that, self-performing?
Tabletop closing, which means you're avoiding. So tabletop closing is like the old way of describing it. And I called it self-performing back in 2017 when I started doing them a lot. And that kind of became the new phrase. But we've perfected the process of self-performing. Kelly Humbarger right here. She is on my team. If you guys ever have TC files, you guys want to chat with her, she's gangster. We love her. Okay, here we go. Jose Torres, what advice would you give to someone who tends to only work hard when their savings account is running low? I know exactly what to do. Here's my advice. Tell your money where to go before you receive it. Okay, so go read the book Profit First. That's like bare minimum book you should read. Profit First, which means money comes into your account, it immediately goes partitioned out to places it's supposed to be, and only a small chunk of money sits in your bank account after all these things are paid. So it's like, you want to buy Bitcoin? Well, you better have a partition for it. So it's like $10,000 comes in from a wholesale deal. It should be, if you're not buying rentals, it should be $2,000 goes to taxes. $3,000 goes to paying my bills. $2,000 goes back into the business for marketing, et cetera. And then, $1,000 goes into an investment fund. And then I get to keep $700 to go and do anything willy-nilly, buy a bunch of liquid deaths or whatever the heck it is that you want to do. That's my advice for you, because now your bank account is basically empty all the time.
Yeah, love that. I mean, guys, you have to have urgency about all of this. I mean, if you think about it, my teens will get money and then they'll be like, I got money. Life is good. Life is easy. They'll coast. They'll take it easy. That's a very immature way of running your life, to think, I got enough money in the bank, I'm going to coast now for a while. You got to come to this business with massive urgency. You got to act like when it's $1 million or $2 million or $10 million, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and do the same freaking thing, which is build my legacy, build my dream life. You don't build your dream life when every time you get 10 grand, you take it easy.
Yeah.
That's not how you build your dream life.
That's true. That's correct. I can tell you that my dream life just keeps getting more and more expensive. So I don't know about you. Are you pretty frugal? You're pretty frugal.
We're pretty frugal. There's a point of diminishing returns, like, does the $200,000 car give me that much more value than the $50,000 car? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm pretty content.
I don't know. I should go buy a $200,000 car and check it out
and see what the difference is. But there's a point where, I feel like I get to go where I want, do what I want. I order whatever I want on the menu.
Yeah. I
wake up and do what I want. I live and I have, you know what I mean? So I don't really feel like I need more to be happier. I'm after time and experience more than stuff.
Me too. Like being able to go around in the pasture today.
Yeah. Emery called me. Emery called me up and she said, Jerry, Pace is pulling the kids around on the tube. You don't want to miss this. And it was like, there was nothing in the world more important than stopping that and coming out and hanging out with you.
Thank you.
Right?
Yeah, it was great.
But what if I was in a job where I had to ask permission from a boss and I had to miss out on that experience?
Yeah.
And our kids aren't going to forget that.
No.
Getting pulled behind a side-by-side in the snow.
I did toss Lincoln. Not on purpose, but he landed in snow. He's perfectly fine.
My 4-year-old went rolling. Yeah.
Okay. So Alexis says, hey, my second question is for Pace. I understand you can get houses with no credit, but how about if you pay yourself 15 grand? So I talk about this all the time, how I go buy a rental. I'm actually going to be talking about this on probably 3 or 4 of the deals that I'll break down tomorrow. So again, my live I'm doing tomorrow starts at 4 a.m. You'll be asleep for most of it. If you are in Subto, if you are in the Subto community, I'm buying everybody a Subto beanie, which are impossible to get. I will buy you a special edition Subto beanie if you stick around for the entire live. Pace, when are you ending? I don't know. Whenever I feel like it. Could be 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. and we're done in an hour.
Yeah, it won't be an hour.
It won't be an hour. But anyway,
there's no way it'll be an hour.
If you guys want to come on that live, please DM me and just ask me for the link. We'll get you guys the link. My wife.
Do you want me to come over and do anything? If you need to talk about something or bored, I'll run over here.
I would love for you to come in and talk about a couple of wholesale deals you've done.
All right, what?
Because I broke down I did. My wife and I did wholesale from 2012 to 2018, almost exclusively.
Can I talk about anything else? Because that's boring.
I'd love maybe talk about your hotel deal or I'd love to talk about your, I don't know.
The hotel deal is super fun. It's creative finance too.
Maybe we talk about a takedown method. I have you come on and talk about a takedown method. Something that you are excited about.
Okay.
I'll send you, I have 25 deals that different strategies that paying myself on a Subto deal, Subto to retail. I'm literally everything you can do in creative finance and 5 regular boring BRRRR deals. They spelled Burr wrong. They meant to spell it B-O-R-I-N-G. Okay, not B-R-R-R-R. Okay.
Boring. It's pretty boring.
It's pretty boring, and it sucks going through a bank. Anyway, Lucas says,
I don't want to screw up your cadence though, so tell me when.
I don't know. I'll text you in the morning.
Okay.
4 a.m. You come over whenever you want.
It won't be 4 a.m.
But Alexis, the answer is no. I've never had anybody ask me, even when I first started. Remember this. This is a common thing I get. You get it too. Well, yeah, but you guys are rich and you guys are this, that, and the other. Like, yep, you're right. I was born that way. Like the doctor handed me a basket and it was all this money and experience and skills and the ability to communicate with people. I didn't have to work for it. I didn't have to go pay for mentorships. I didn't have to go join. In fact, do you guys know how I met Jerry? In a mastermind.
Yeah.
I met Jerry in a mastermind and I was like, oh, that's freaking Jerry Norton. That's the guy I want to become friends with. That's how I met this guy. I paid for access to rooms I want to get into. I had to learn all this stuff. But one thing is sure, I've never gotten a credit check from a private money lender. Never happened.
Yeah, they
once.
don't ask for it.
Yeah.
Pace, can I read this comment that I texted you the other day?
Yes.
So it's on my YouTube channel. I did this video where I broke down.
Oh, I love this comment.
Okay, yeah, this is great. I did a video where I break down how to make $1 million in profit flipping 13 deals.
Yeah.
And it was very concise. Like, you got to get it at this ARV. It's got to be this type of rehab. You got to buy it at this price. And I broke it all down, everything. So I get this comment. It's real easy. Buy a house for $285,000, put 75 into it, and voila, it's worth $513,000. Easy peasy. Why not sell it for 1.5 million? So 1.5 million. You would make 1 million with only one sale. Oh, Pace tells me to get 0% seller financing. Wow, 2025 will be an awesome year. I mean, it's oozing with sarcasm, right? I mean,
I know this guy so well. I blocked him from my YouTube channel. He's such an idiot. So he, and I, he's a nice guy.
You got it up here. Right?
Yeah, I got it up here. So
my response was great.
This guy, I don't know who he is because he doesn't use his real name, and I've told him to email me multiple times, and he just won't. So he says to me, it's illegal to buy 0% seller finance. You're doing everything incorrect. I'm like, okay, so here's the IRS stipulations, and here's here's the way we do it. Here's the letter.
So you engaged and gave him answers.
Oh, I've been so polite to him.
Yeah.
He doesn't like it because he's a CPA and he doesn't like being shown up. So he's come on a lot of my lives, like Get Creative Live, and he's come on there and chatted with me. He won't come on the live because he doesn't want to be addressed. He doesn't want people to know his actual name. Yeah. So he comes on my YouTube channels and he goes on other people's YouTube channel, Austin Zabak and other people.
Yeah.
So every time I do a podcast with somebody else on their channel, he goes to that podcast and starts making comments about the 0% seller financing. Meanwhile, hundreds of people in our community are doing it every month. Hundreds.
Yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them are doing it. And check this out. Kyle Kargas, good to see you, brother. Love you, man. Awesome dude. But I do love this victim mentality of it's really easy. This guy is a CPA. He's not an idiot.
Yeah.
And that's his attitude.
Well, and the truth is he's totally right. You're totally right. It doesn't work. It's too hard. You can't buy deals. You can't get zero down seller financing. You're totally right. And 2025 is going to suck just as bad for you as 2024.
Yeah. And he is right.
Yeah. He's totally right.
100%. I like that. Lucas Caller. I told you about Lucas Caller today.
Yeah, you did.
I said, I told him, I go, put a team, 25 Subto members together and start doing co-wholesaling. And he did. He called his team the Big Knockers. It's a good name, Lucas. Proud of you for that one. He sent me an email I haven't replied back to. I did see the email though, Lucas. Thank you for that. Kyle Kargas, love him. He's loaned me money. He's in Owners Club. Solid guy.
Yeah, he's
been doing
great.
Deals for 15 plus years. I'm buying a co-living house this week in Arizona with a partner, and I'm getting $20,000 acquisition fee as part of the entry. Real estate is the best. Totally doable. So just to break this down, Kyle, I should have you come on the live tomorrow too.
So not only is it zero down, he's getting paid.
He's getting paid, yeah. So I already know what he does. So he does direct-to-seller marketing.
Okay.
He's a lot of letters and mail and all that stuff. PPL, PPC, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
He goes out on the appointments or gets on the phone. He has a small team, et cetera. He's smart, super great guy. And so what he'll do is he'll go buy a sub-2 deal and he'll hold it as a co-living. Okay. And then he goes, I'll bring in a partner. What's so great about Kyle, he's a high level operator, but he goes, I'm going to join sub-2 and I'm just going to help other people. I don't need to be educated by Pace. I just want to help Pace help all these people. And now I've learned things from him. He's learned things from me. Of course, that's what a community is all about. But he's like, I already know he doesn't need the money. He did not need a private money partner for this deal. He just let somebody come in onto this deal because he's like, I want to collaborate with other people. Kyle, you are the man, dude. I freaking appreciate you. The attitude of the people in our community is so special. I freaking love it. Okay, cool. Lucas. Yeah, Kathleen, good job, Lucas. We like the name. Okay, let's see here. What do we got? Good comments today, guys.
Yeah, great engagement. Awesome.
Okay, Alexis says, Pace, something that stood out to me about you is when you said you went to a title company, got a $10,000 check in one day. You said you have it recorded. Where can I find this video? Can I tell you where you can find this video? It's not possible for me to release this video because I collaborated with Bigger Pockets and they chose to never release this video. It's their video. They own the video. I have to remake the whole entire thing. I will remake the thing. They chose not to. It's a conversation for another day. Bigger Pockets is so great. I love them. I just got an email from them. Katie Miller is so awesome. I love the whole team over at Bigger Pockets. But there's videos that I collaborated with them on that they did not ever release for whatever reason. It wasn't something that they wanted to put on their channel. Maybe it would have been too informational. I don't know. Okay, I have no idea. I could guess or not. Jeff Long, Jerry Pace, did you end the year with any big ticket buys to offset taxes? Yes, we closed on an RV park today for $1.7 million. But the beautiful thing is, I did not need the tax benefits. And I'll tell you why. Last year, I got $18.5 million in tax write-offs. I only needed a portion of those. I think it was like our joint companies needed like 14 million of those. 4.5 million of that rolled over into this year. And we bought a handful of properties this year. Nothing like we bought in 2023. We did buy a lot in 2024, but nothing like we did in 2023. And I didn't need the tax benefits. So we will not take tax benefits on this RV park
till next year or whenever.
I won't take it at all. This RV park, we're closing at 1.7 million. It's completely undervalued. We're going to add 10 more stalls, and then we're going to sell it again in June for probably probably 2.9. So we'll make I brought in Brandon Harris. He's in Owners Club. He's in Subto. He brought the deal to me. He says, I want to do this deal with you. I don't want to bring anything to the table, but I want equity. I go, no problem. I call that the wedge deal, right? You can wedge into ownership without having to bring anything to the table. So he kept on as 20% owner. I funded, I'll manage everything 100%. I take 80%, and then he'll take 20% of the upside, 20% of the cash flow. I will then take that money and roll it into the next deal. And that deal, I will then take the tax benefits on. Why? Because I already know this RV park we're buying is in oil country in West Texas. And I already know what we're gonna do with it. We're gonna do a slow flip on it. So I'm not gonna take tax benefits because then I have to do a 1031 and
recapture and stuff.
Recapture all this stuff. So we'll wait.
It's crazy because Pace, I have not only no tax this year, but I've already got no tax next year, which I think is what you're saying. So no, I didn't have to do some crazy purchase last minute because I'm already ahead of it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like the rich learn how to not pay taxes. Taxes are for the poor and middle class, not the rich.
Isn't that crazy? It's sad, but it is true. And people like, oh, it's not fair. Well, it is fair. We create jobs, right? We are incentivized by the IRS to go create jobs and opportunities for other people. And so they incentivize us by saying, hey, you'll get to keep more of your money if you help other people produce more income. So more families feed off of us, which is awesome. We are so grateful for those people. I love them. Kelly Humbarger, one of my team members, is right here in the side chat. But we provide opportunities for families, and for doing that and finding and also providing affordable housing like rentals and all of those types of things, we get tax benefits, which is awesome. Okay, Tiffany Sehar. I am one of Pace's students, and I purchased 162 acres, a 5,100 square foot house, and 7,000 square foot barn for $1.5 million with 0% interest using seller finance. These deals definitely do happen. Tiffany, you and I need to do a podcast about this. Email me, please, pacejmorby@me.com, and we will make it. We'll do something really fun, like we'll shout out the tax strategist. What's his name? The tax strategist.
The tax strategist.
Yeah, Tiffany, email me. Let's do a podcast
send
about
him.
it.
Let him know.
Okay. Yes, Jeffrey, we did a whole podcast about this. We do know about the misfortune with short sale queen. Any learning lessons to earn? Here's what I would say. I know very little about it. She actually was listing a property for me in Texas, a Subto deal that I owned in Houston for 3 years. And it came time for me to sell it, grew in equity, and my ROE calculation was off. ROE meaning return on equity. My equity was not earning what I wanted it to, so we decided to sell it. I gave her the listing because I'm friends with her. I know her. I've known her for 5-6 years. I don't spend a lot of time talking to her. She's not my best friend, but I'm friendly with her. And she's always treated me well, and I've never heard of her screwing anybody over. Never heard of her doing that one time in the 6 or 7 years.
My understanding was it was screwing the banks because it was creating fictitious contracts to postpone foreclosures.
Yeah.
And then they weren't real buyers. And then they would come in with the real deal or, try to close the deal. So that was a bank issue, not a.
Yeah. The bank is making an example out of her and they're going out of their way.
I mean, don't do that. That's still fraud is fraud, whether you're frauding a bank or an individual. Right. But
yeah. It's not a fun situation that she's going through, but I definitely don't know enough about it to give you information. I would go on, RJ Bates did a whole YouTube video about it. So
yeah, because he worked with her. They worked together. So he talked about it.
Okay. What's the first hire I should make to scale my wholesale business?
My answer to this is not going to be what anybody would think.
Okay. I'm going to guess. Here's what I'm going to tell you. The answer is very diverse depending on who you are and what your strategy is. If you're door knocking, you're going to get a door knocker. If you are direct to seller, you're going to get an acquisition manager. If you are, let's say that you're virtually wholesaling, you're going to get a VA that's probably doing your cold calling and your follow-up and those types of things. I also would say right now in 2025, my first hire would be this. You won't guess this. I would hire a company called prop.ai to do all my outbound calls. And I would get rid of all my cold calling to an AI assistant for $1,000 a month. That's the first hire I would do. What about you?
So this is going to sound weird, but your first hire, I think, in your wholesale business or any business should not be in the business. It should be in the home.
Oh my gosh. Wow. What a great answer.
Yeah. A cleaning person, a groundskeeper,
a handyman,
somebody that can wash your car, somebody that can do your yard, somebody that can just because if you can free up space, because think about how much time it takes you to manage a home.
Yeah.
And if you can free that space up for you or your wife, do you know how much value it added to my life pace when I got a once a week cleaner that came to our house? I don't know why I didn't do it sooner. In fact, it was so much value that in Puerto Rico, we have a once a day. She comes from 9 to 3 every single day.
9 to 3. Well, you have 10 kids.
Yeah.
And goats and chickens.
And then we have a grounds person that's 40 hours a week that just does painting, changing light bulbs, the golf carts,
David?
the cars, the David. Yeah. And
Awesome
it's been, that brings so much more value than an assistant or a cold caller or any type of person like that. Because when you can free up bandwidth on those menial things that you don't want to do. Now, if you like to wash the car, fine, wash the car. But I'm talking about the things that take away your time and energy. That's going to free you up to do so much more in your business.
That's a whole topic and conversation by itself, which is so great. Hey, Rob, bro, I love you, man. You're one of the best fathers I know. Amazing, amazing guy. Rob Van Harris. Pace taught me all about depreciation. It literally changed my life. So good to see you, brother. He's an owner's club, super sharp, amazing guy. You guys should know Rob Van Harris. Probably one of the most chiseled dudes I've ever met. He's chiseled out of marble, straight out of marble. Okay, so just real quick on this. I love that you took it that route because I actually used you. You didn't know I used you 4 years ago. I was telling my wife we need a nanny for months. I was like, we need a nanny. We need a nanny. But my wife is part Hispanic. She's just like super gangster. She wants to be like, it's me or nobody else is going to do the mom stuff. It's me, type of stuff. So one night we go to dinner at your house, and it was the first time I got to go to dinner and like really meet Anne Marie. And she prepared dinner. We had kids running around. You remember this night?
Yeah.
Okay. And you and I are sitting at one end of the table talking. My wife and Anne Marie are sitting at the other end of the table talking.
And you had been encouraging her to get a nanny
for months.
Yeah.
Months and months. And I heard your wife and her saying the words nanny, nanny, nanny. So on the drive home, my wife, who probably is listening right now, she says, I got an idea. I think we should get a nanny.
You're like, huh?
And I go, I freaking love that idea. That's amazing.
If you want to.
Anyway, so we got a nanny, a part-time nanny. My wife still is full-time mom, but we don't have 10 kids like you guys do. You have multiple people helping as you need to. But we have a part-time nanny, which changed my wife's life. Like, you can go do things, and you can actually, when you have 3 kids, bro, you go from 2 kids to 3.
That's because they outnumber you.
Yes. So it was like right there. Anyway, game changer. This year,
but Laura is, I mean, like there's moms and then there's moms, and Laura is like, you see in her, she loves being a mom.
Yeah.
She just loves
same with your mom. So it was your
you can just
mom
see
on
it in
your
her.
house.
She just loves being a mom.
So this year in January, now I know tomorrow is the last day of the year, but every year in December, Molly, who is my head of operations, she is my right hand. Everybody loves Molly. She is so special. We all love Molly. Molly sits down with me for about a 4-hour session, and she goes through my calendar before this meeting, and she finds 100 things that I have done in the year. Unique things, like waited in an airport, had this meeting with so-and-so, went on this podcast, flew here, did this. She finds 100 things, and she categorizes them as like, these are a waste of your time. You need to stop doing them. Well, last year she did it, and she was like, I see all these blocks on your calendar of like what you're doing. Like, you're doing a chore here, you're running a thing here, you're fixing a thing. She's like, we need to fix this, because you probably could pay a guy $4,000 to $5,000 a month, part-time, maybe even full-time. And you could find somebody that would save you 40 hours a month. I go, yeah, but I really love washing my car and doing my thing. And she's like, yeah, but think about all the people on your team that you're taking time and energy away from doing more deals, raising more capital, doing whatever. And that's what sold me. I was like, you're right. I'm probably spending 10 hours a week doing stupid things. And so I hired Nathan. You remember Nathan?
Yeah.
So Nathan works for me full time, and I pay him better than I just quoted you or what I just said. But Nathan works full time, drops off my cars, fixes this.
Mm-hmm.
This thing needs to be done. Hey, check in on the dog, do this. And I found that he only needs to do that 4 or 5 hours a day. And then the rest of the day, he answers my emails in my lending business, and he sends my underwriter. He does the first underwriting. So he learns how to do lending, and he does the handymanning. Bro, there was a backlog of 100 things I wasn't even getting done, because even though I had 10 hours, I wasn't doing it. It was, what a great piece of advice.
Yeah. Honestly, if you took everybody away and I had to start over and I can only hire one person, it would not be in the business. It would be in the home.
So good. What great freaking advice. I was not expecting that whatsoever. So good. Kyle Carga says, hey, thanks, Jerry. That perfectly aligns with Dan Martell. Buy your time back. If you don't have an assistant, you are the assistant. Kyle's got a couple of really cool daughters as well. He has a daughter. He brought them up for community camp. He's like, I want to come to community camp this year, but my daughter has motion sickness. And he found this little wristband that got rid of her motion.
Yeah, my wife uses those. Yeah.
Really good father, dude. Really, really cool father. Are you writing off the nanny or sitter? Well, here's the thing. He lives in Puerto Rico. He doesn't need to write anything off. Do you normally, though?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Love that.
I write off everything. It's a business expense, because how do I run my business if I don't have help?
100%. Uma to Uma. Pace, can you hook me up with someone in the Sub-2 community that lives outside the USA and is buying Sub-2s? Yeah, I just did a whole podcast with Mel. We have probably a good 300 or 400. Send me an email, pacejmorby@me.com. I will introduce you to Sub-2 members if you are also in Sub-2. If you're not in Sub-2, I don't want to bother them. They hang out with each other. I don't want to introduce non-Sub-2 students to Sub-2 students. They're busy working with each other. Okay. Not enough arms to hold everyone. That's true. When you have three kids. Yeah,
you're outnumbered.
Kelly says, this is such a good video. This is the last episode of the year.
And you and I get to hog the whole thing.
Bro.
We don't have to share with anybody.
So good. Okay. Lucas says, if I want a wife who will be my transaction coordinator, do I look for a wife who does TCing or a TC who is a wife?
I would probably say find one that's already TCing, because I don't know if you make a wife TC. that might not work out.
Yeah, probably not. Lucas, great question. You already sent me an email, bro. What are you talking about? Send me an email. He said they have deals for me in Maricopa County. PaceJMorby@me.com. I told him, I was like, go put a team together, go find wholesalers in town, bring me deals. I'll flip them and I'll bring you guys on as partners.
So he has to learn cold calling, right? I mean, with a name like that, don't you
Lucas Caller?
Don't you have to call?
I wonder, is it Caller or Kohler?
Kohler. It's not Kohler, is it?
I don't know.
No, that'd be COH.
Cleophas Clancy Jr. What are your thoughts on flipping vacant land? I think it will always work. It always has worked. It's got its time in the sun right now in the last couple of years, and it's going to get even hotter. We just did a wholesaling land 101 semester in Subto because it is so hot.
Yep.
Linda Hamilton and Owners Club just made $400,000 on one deal.
Yep. My biggest land deal was close to $1 million on a land deal in Paradise Valley. I bought it.
My gosh.
No, I did a little bit to it. So there was a old home on it. I tore it down. I did the plans, architectural plans, and I got the permit. So it was shovel ready, we call it. And then I just sold it to someone ready to go start right now for $1 million more.
Bro.
Yeah, land's incredible.
Bro, how did you land that deal?
I mean, timing.
Got him. Okay, a last question of the day. Appreciate you guys so much for hanging out. Now, one more time before I wrap up, I have an all-day live that's starting in 9 hours and 30 minutes. And that will be 4 a.m. through all day. As long as,
right up here?
Right up here, yeah. You come up anytime. I'll set up a second episode, and we'll talk about a deal that you did. My goal tomorrow is to talk about, okay, so check this out. This is actually what the deal is. What I'm doing tomorrow is I'm preemptively creating 25 individual videos for an ebook that I'm building.
So you'll chop it up post-production?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Post-production. So my team's going to be like, hey, we need these 25 videos. I'm like, how about I just build one video with 25 deals in it? I'll tell the story. And I'll just give it away for people, like tell the story, where I found it, how I structured it, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
So the ebook is going to be all about golf. And every chapter is going to be a caddy coming up to me. And it's like cartoon. You know how my graphic designers are really good, like that, comic book style I just showed you. And a caddy's going to come up to me and go, all right, Pace, so on this hole, we've got a seller who's in foreclosure. They're going through a divorce. What club would you like to use? And so I go to my creative finance bag and I pull a club out and I'm like, I'm going to use Subto. I'm going to use Novation. I'm going to use blah, blah, blah. And so I've got 25 deals and I will have 25 completely different clubs to handle that individual problem.
Perfect. Yeah.
So I'll describe the problem that the seller's having, how I found the deal, what did I go through, how long did it take to structure it, what was my follow-up process, how did I close the deal, who else was involved in the deal, how other people can do that deal too. So if you have a hole you want to try and be on, I'll be your caddy. I'll go, hey, here's the or you tell me, like, here's a problem that my seller's having.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Here's how I overcame it. Because I think one of the most important things for me when I got into the business was understanding there's a story behind every deal. What kept me from taking action, I'm a weirdo. What kept me from taking action was investing. It's kind of like watching a movie and only seeing the end and like seeing the man and woman kiss and get married. I'm like, okay, but
build up.
How did they get there?
Yeah.
So when people say stuff like, yeah, I made $1 million on my land deal, it's like, okay, that's amazing, but how? Meaning, where did the lead first come in? Did you know it was a lead? Did you not know it was a lead? Did you accidentally follow up? I had a deal one time where we made like $50,000 on this wholesale deal. The lady called us back after we stopped following up with her. Like, you have these weird stories. So I think those stories are more important for a newbie to hear than the actual structure of the deal.
What if I did my hotel deal? That was really
heck yeah.
That was all creative finance.
Yes.
And it was, I think, a Morby method because they wanted 2.5. I financed 1.25. Did a seller carry for the other 1.25, got in with no money down.
Yeah, Morby method.
And it was a hotel.
Yeah,
so
freaking love that.
And I could tell how I exited and all that.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Yeah. And my audience,
you'll like that one.
My audience doesn't love wholesale content. Like,
Okay.
I have a lot of wholesale people in our community. Obviously, we teach wholesale. Obviously, you've wholesaled deals to and from Subto community members, but
I could bring one of those too. if
they
it's
mostly want to hear about like building wealth.
Yeah,
So
oh,
like
yeah.
your hotel is so much
Yeah.
more interesting
Yeah.
than like a regular wholesale deal.
helpful. I agree.
So I'm doing that tomorrow, and that's going to be happening at 4 a.m. Good luck waking up as late as I am. And guys, I'm not a human. Okay. I'm a robot. I can do
Energizer Bunny.
I can do crazy things. Jerry, what is something you want to promote, talk about, tell people you're doing, maybe a live with your wife, maybe something you got coming up that you want to push or promote?
We've got some big things coming up in January. We're going to be launching in PropWire a premium leads feature, which we've been working on for a while, which is the really hard stuff to get. They can only get at the county. And we've got
The premium.
an entire team of leads that's going to go, because that's what it takes. It takes VAs actually to go into each of these individual counties, follow all these specific processes to get the tax delinquents or the code violations and all of that. So we're going to be launching that here in the next couple of weeks. We're really excited about it because it's been a big project to get these specialized types of leads. So yeah, I guess I don't have anything yet about that, but just keep an eye out for that. That's something I'm pretty excited about doing.
I love that. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. Please make out with somebody hardcore.
I will be.
I will be 100%. My wife, send my wife a DM, guys, Laura Morby. I met her 15 years ago yesterday. She slid into my DMs. She sent me a message and she says, it was 3:00 in the morning. She sent me a message. She says, "You're hot." That's all she said. I'm 26 at the time. She's 22, 23. She sends me this message. As a polite man, I said, "I would love to take you on a date." So I took her on a date the next day, which would be tonight. Okay, tonight would be our 15-year ago. We went on a date to Kona Grill. I got a white pizza, bacon, garlic, the works. And then I took her home. I gave her a hug. Did not kiss her. The next night was New Year's Eve. I got my first kiss New Year's Eve. That's the hack, guys. You're afraid to go in for a kiss? Just make sure your first date is on New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
you're going to get a kiss.
because you get a pass, like you're allowed to.
I got a pass.
Yeah.
So I got my first kiss with Laura 15 years ago tomorrow. So I'll make sure she comes in at midnight on my live. If I'm still going till midnight, that's lunacy. If I go to midnight, I'm stupid. But for those of you guys that are getting your tickets to Squat Up Summit, please go to squatupsummit.com. We just came out with a new method where you can reserve your seat with a couple $100. We already got Jordan Peterson. We got David Goggins. Jerry Norton is speaking after David Goggins. David Goggins is warming up for Jerry Norton on day number 3. Super excited about Squat Up Summit. It's going to be in March in Dallas. Please get your tickets. We already have 2,200 tickets sold. We will sell another 1,000 tickets. It will sell out 100%.
And that's for certain, guys, because you were telling me the venue cannot hold more. So it's not like, oh, we have more room. No. Once it's out, it's out.
That's what happened last year. We sold 2,100 tickets. We had like 3,000 people wanting to go. We had standing room only. The fire marshal allowed us to have another 100. Do you remember? It was packed
all the way to the back.
All the way to the back. People were lined up on the back wall.
And they were pissed about it.
Yeah. Well, they were happy to be there, but yeah, they were.
No, I mean the venue.
Yeah, the venue. Well, the fire marshal gave us permission as long as people were standing like against the back wall and there was enough room to get around.
Oh.
But the venue was not happy about it.
So this will be 3,000?
3,500.
35. That's another 1,500.
Another 1,500, yeah.
It felt huge last year.
It was, yeah. Grant Cardone, Cody Sanchez last year were both like, are you kidding? This was like one of the greatest events I've ever been to. This year, Grant will not be there, but Cody Sanchez will. We've got some other surprise guests coming, musical appearances, all the things. I'm actually the most excited. Jerry's always my favorite speaker. He's one of the few people I sit down in the front row and take notes when Jerry speaks. Then we also have 3 members from our community that are taking the big stage, stepping up the big game, stepping in front of 3,500 members in front of our own community. I'm excited to see them upgrade themselves and speak in front of that big of an audience, it's going to be really, really
I mean,
cool.
Pace, if you could pick, and I'm not just saying this, if you could pick one thing to do next year, one event to go to, hands down, this is it. Like,
Yeah.
don't miss it.
If you're in real estate, I don't know why you'd go to any other event. To be honest.
You're not going to, you won't learn more anywhere else. You won't network more than anywhere else.
Yeah, people stay out in the hallways till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the freaking morning, connecting and making partnerships and lending money to each other, selling deals to each other. The way we cultivated and built this event was primarily around the networking, not around the event. The event is world class. We hired Barry Baumgartner, who runs all of Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi's events. The event is so world class, it's ridiculous. However, nothing compares to the networking in the hallways. It is epic. So Cody Sanchez will be there this year. David Goggins just signed with us a couple days ago. Jordan Peterson, Jerry Norton, Jamil Damji, and a couple of other really, really big names. Look forward to seeing you guys there. And by the way, thank you guys for tuning in with us. 400 people hung out with us for New Year's Eve. Thank you guys.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
Anything you want to say before you leave? Last thing people are going to hear from you for 2024.
Can we go sledding again around behind the four-wheeler?
Guys, we actually have people coming in for Day with Pace this week. We will definitely take you guys on the sled and the inner tube around the pasture, and we'll do some wild stuff.
And we're going snowboarding, right?
Yeah, we are going snowboarding. Yeah. Thank you guys. Happy New Year. I'll probably see a couple of you guys tomorrow. DM me for the link so you guys can come into the Zoom I'm doing tomorrow, and we're going to be breaking down now 26 deals because Gary's going to come in and talk about one of his deals. Guys, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We'll see you next year.
Or just say squat up.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
What are you doing?
I didn't say nothing.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Cool. I think we should use the one where Jamil doesn't say anything.